Profit Leaders, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the Sovereign Wealth Fund, Guyana Sovereign Wealth Fund, also known as the Natural Resource Fund. The Bank of Guyana fourth quarter report has been released, and you should be excited because it tells us that we're now at 1.429 billion US dollars in our Sovereign Wealth Fund. In this video, I'm going to give you the details. I'm going to describe what the fund did in the fourth quarter of 2022 and where the fund sits and what the projection is for the future. Now, this kind of video is going to be on the business channel, Raffle Nation Business, in future. So if you want to keep up with all of the business news from Guyana, go to my business channel, Raffle Nation Business, and subscribe there, because that's where all of these videos will end up eventually. Now, the fourth quarter report for 2020 says that Guyana earned 500 million US dollars from oil and gas. All right, think about that. In the beginning, we were being told that, you know, there's a bad contract. Guyana signed a bad contract, and Guyana is going to lose a lot of money, and they're going to lose, I think it was $154 billion, and the Dutch disease is going to destroy Guyana's future, and all of this political propaganda, right? But the contract was signed, and I made several videos in the past explaining that this is a great contract, right? It was a brilliant contract. I described my interpretation of the contract, read the contract out and interpreted it. I have several videos in the past. You can go to history and see what those videos are, where I describe the contract and explain how the money is, how Guyana gets its 52% of the profits. But now we're seeing evidence that I was correct, that my assessment was correct. I also predicted that by the first quarter of 2023, the end of the first quarter of 2023, that the Sovereign Wealth Fund would reach $1 billion. It turns out it is way ahead of schedule, because the global price of oil actually went up during 2022. By May 2022, oil was trading at about $120 a barrel and finished the year at about above $85 a barrel. And this is what is in the fourth quarter report for 2022 from Bank of Guyana. So let's go into it. So the end of the third quarter in 2022, that is the end of September 2022, Guyana had about $1.05 billion in the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and at the end of December 2022, the account has 1.429 billion US dollars. Now, this involved earning from the profits as well as the royalties of 578.5 million US dollars. The government withdrew 207.65 million dollars during that period. During the fourth quarter, Guyana earned 574 million, and the government withdrew 207.65 million from the account. And this is how we ended up with a total of 1.429 billion. Now, in that period of time, the account also earned interest, about 0.863% interest, which amounted to about $11.3 million. It's a very small amount in comparison, but all of that contributed to the total amount in the account of now $1.429 billion. Now, that is something to be celebrated. It means that now we can begin to see in real terms the performance of the contract. Now, I'm going to give you the details later in the video, but for now, what you need to understand is that as the price of oil rebounds, because right now it's kind of depressed, it's trading at about $75 a barrel. As the price of oil rebounds, as China, for example, begins to increase its demand for oil after the overhang of its COVID-19 effects, that is, after they opened up their economy and saw a surge in COVID illnesses, after China rebounds, their demand for oil will increase and the price of oil will go up. And in addition to this, we're still waiting for the deposits in January of the sale of 2 million barrels of oil. This is lifts that were received in the fourth quarter, and the money for that has not yet come in. So that looks like we're going to have another 160 to 170 million dollars being added to the account in January. So we're already over 1.5 billion, and with the price of oil projected to rebound in 2023, you can see that easily Guyana will actually, that is our sovereign wealth fund, will actually exceed $2 billion by the end of the year, possibly even hitting $3 billion depending on production levels. So what's going to happen in the future is that we're going to have an increase in production. Right now, for example, there are 2 FPSOs, right? 2 floating platforms for storage and offloading. There is the Liza Destiny and the Liza Unity out there, Liza Destiny and Liza Unity out there, and they're now producing a total of 340,000 barrels per day. And starting in 2023, there is a 4th production field that is going to come on stream with a total of another 250,000 barrels per day. And by 2027, Exxon is bringing on stream the Yellowtail production with another 200,000 barrels per day, bringing a total production that is Guyana's output by 2027 is going to be about 800,000 barrels per day, and by the end of the decade it's going to be over 1 million barrels per day based on the number of projects and contracts that are about to open. Guyana has now discovered 38 deposits of oil, and that means 38 finds, most of them, of course 34 of them from ExxonMobil, and most of that oil already in the Stabroek block amounting to about 11 billion barrel equivalents of oil. So the future looks bright. Our account, that is our sovereign wealth fund, looks also stable and solid, and we're going to talk about what should happen to this money in terms of investing it. You want to see more content like this? Click like and subscribe. In the comments below, tell me what you think about Guyana's sovereign wealth fund. Tell me what you think about the production rate, predicted production rate, and tell me what you think about Guyana's earnings so far. In the fourth quarter of 2022, we've earned $574 million, the most in any quarter so far, and it's going to be increasing rapidly over the next several quarters and years of production. Yes, leave a comment below, share this video with friends and family around the world, let people know what's happening in Georgetown, Guyana. Remember, you can purchase merchandise to support this channel from my channel website. I'll leave the link in the description below, and you can now sign up. In other words, you can register or subscribe to my other channels: Raffle Nation Business, there's Raffle Nation Travel, Raffle Nation Food, and all the other channels. I'll leave the link to these channels below. Subscribe to these channels, share this video with friends and family around the world, let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Later!